Welcome back to the GLF 2019 here in Accra, in Ghana, where we're approaching the end of our very exciting two-day event where we're working hard to restore Africa's landscapes from the ground up. And this afternoon, I have the pleasure of speaking with Mamadou Diakhite, who's also the Program Manager for Land, Energy and Water for the African Union Development Agency, and NEPAD, and the AFR100 Coordinator. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. So please tell us, I know that the AFR100 and the GLF have been kind of working back to back in the past 2 days. So what are the main outcomes that you found from the AFR100 meeting?
Thank you for the opportunity. And yes, we had 2 days of meeting here in Accra for the 4th annual partnership meeting of AFR100. And the main objectives were to first have a status on where country were in terms of commitment to restore degraded land and forests in Africa. So we can say that to date we have 28 countries and more coming. At least 2 are in the pipeline to join AFR100, and the current 28 countries have committed to restore 13 million hectares of land by 2030. And of course this ambitious, and some say over-ambitious objective comes with some requirements for support, technical support, financial support in terms of monitoring what is being restored or what is being degraded, and do an evaluation on restoration opportunities once the degradation has been assessed, and go to another level at local level, community level, to also see where the restoration activities could take place.
Great. So I know this is, so as you said, it's a very ambitious goal to restore all these millions of hectares of land. How are we going to get there? What's the plan?
Yes, so we have a work plan that is effective and being implemented, and we are receiving support from the member countries of the African Union, and which show also the commitment and the ownership of AFR100 by the member countries, but also the African Union as a whole, and also support from development partners. We can mention the government of Germany, World Bank, IUCN, WWF, and WRI, GLF. All those partners contribute to the AFR100, and we can also say that the AFR100 will be the main platform and the main contributor for the UN decade on ecosystem restoration in Africa, and we can also show that the work plan that we already designed for the next 5-10 years match very well with the objectives of the UN decade on restoration when it comes to implementing restoration in Africa.
Great. But how is the progress going to be monitored? What are some of the ways that we're going to measure progress to make sure that we actually hit this target by 2030?
Exactly. This is a very pertinent question. This is also to say that the farmers, herders, countries, local government, local authorities did not wait for AFR100 or for the UN decade to start restoring, to means that restoration is happening on the ground. Now the challenge is how to account it, how to register, how to compile those activities in one place so that everyone from the member countries, from the African Union, from partners, from investors, to have one common place where to go and check what is which restoration implementation is going on. And this is the task of the African Union Development Agency, NEPAD, as a lead in this initiative, to gather experts, partners, to build tools so that everyone, especially with new technologies, to be able to monitor what is going on the ground. And we are working with partners to set up a working group to really, we hope in the course of the 2020 to be able to design a tool that will help to follow actions of implementation all over Africa on the ground.
Okay, great. I also know, like with the message that I've been having with all the different interviews that, I've had over the past 2 days, is the contribution of youth and women. What can you add to that in terms of your experience in the past few days?
Yes,
Yes.
we have seen that the women groups and the youth were very vocal during our meeting. We had very lively debates on how women can get access to land, and especially if they are the ones who produce or who maintain and restore and work on the land, how to get access and have their rights recognized and have property rights recognized by all relevant authorities, so that their work is recognized, and then they have security also of tenure. So and one of the agreement we had at our meeting is to bring women coordination groups, youth groups into the management of the AFR100, so that they can express their voice on their own without no one talking on their behalf. So
right.
This is one of, and another action we took was to selection Africa-wide. We nominated and sponsored 5 young ambassadors of AFR100 to come and talk on behalf of youth in restoration, and it happened that most of them are also young entrepreneurs who are working on the ground, planting trees, and also employing other young people to generate income through restoration.
Oh, great. So now as we're coming to the end of our 2 days of the GLF and with the AFR 100 meeting, like what do you think? How has it been? Is this important that we have these meetings and these conferences to push the agenda of this climate crisis forward for us to act?
Definitely. I think it's a good combination to have GLF with a global reach and then AFR 100, which is working specifically in Africa to work together. We know that GLF happened a few weeks ago in New York with
right.
the Climate Action Week.
Yes.
So this was also a good opportunity to bring those messages here in Africa together, to show that as an African initiative we are also working at the global level,
right.
and vice versa. And I think this is a very valuable collaboration between GLF and AFR 100.
Great. Well, I thank you for sparing some time for us in your busy day.
Thank you.
And I hope we get there by 2030. Yes?
We will get there.
We will get there. Okay. Thank you, Mamadou. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.